And we are live with We Have Thoughts. Basically, a weekly podcast we do where, we talk about whatever's on our mind, whether you guys want to hear it or not. And we do this live on YouTube, and we put it on Spotify's on Mondays. And yeah, that's it. You know what? I mean, sort of you joked about this. We just sometimes with us just BSing to each other, it's like, this is entertaining, even if because it's for ourselves. So it's like, you know what? Now let's just do it. And if anyone joins us, they join us. If they don't, well, then they don't. We still get entertained by ourselves, and that's all we can ask for is entertaining ourselves. So,
I mean, we don't get any more, like, our fantasy podcast is the one that gets the most engagement. And I mean, it's only just like one person usually at a time, but that's the one I feel like consistently someone's asking us questions on that one, as if we are at all fantasy football experts. We're both 4-3.
I think with fantasy football, everyone has questions, and then they just want opinions, because they're like, hey, what do you think of this? And obviously, I'm like, yeah, we're just two noobs. Who knows what we're doing, or who doesn't know, excuse me. But I'm like, hey, take our opinion with a grain of salt, because, yeah. And yeah, sometimes they just pop in, and yeah, I like it. I like the engagement. So, yeah, if anyone joins us and wants to even ask us any random serious questions, because usually we try to find a fun theme or like one major topic, and we'll just see what other little topics come up. And, we just talk about whatever. So we really didn't have a theme or anything going into this week. We, this past week has been very busy for us. So I told Toto, I'm like, why don't we just ask each other questions? And some serious, some silly, because I'm like, we've known each other for, I know the time frame gets a little push, but we're close to 20 years. Because I'm thinking 2006, 2000.
I really... Like, this is a constant, like, discussion even in my own brain. I'm like, when did I become friends with Chad? And it's been a long time. And there's an old friend of mine. We were talking about going back, and Sarah was like, wait, Chad knows him too? And I'm like, yeah, Chad and I have known each other for a very long time. We've been friends and done friendly things for a long time. I don't know why, when it started-ish. I mean, you know better than I do, but it's always something I go back being like, when the fuck was that?
So all I know, and I always bring this up when we talk about this, and this is where my time frame, you help me with the time frame. We started hanging out right before you left. Like, it was probably like maybe 6 months, 3 to 6 months before you left for Jersey. That's the time frame I use.
Makes sense, because because I have a very specific memory of you and my friend Jack that I was living with in Fairmount Street, and we were at Five Dragons at the top of Main Street, and I got blacked the fuck out drinking Scorpion Bowls, a story that continues in my life. But both of you guys had to carry me home.
Well, I didn't carry you home. I think I carried you to his car, because I know the night you're talking about.
I put my arms around somebody, and then I remember I wanted to fight cops.
All right. Well, here's why. Now that's my part of the story, because he took you home. So however you two got home, I don't know, because I drove my car, and there was right on that intersection that's near there. There was a lot of cops. I don't know what was going on, and I was like, oh shit, because that was the way to my house where I was living at that time. And I'm like, I don't want to even go through this. So I went like a long back road way home just to avoid the cops. That's what my brain, I'm like, oh my God, if they just pull me over, like, I am screwed. So I don't know how you and Jack got home. I have no idea.
Well, we lived right there. Fairmount Street is right there.
Yeah,
like, Fairmount Street is right across from Golden Stadium. So we must have walked there. Because we would walk, because obviously that's the best way to do it. So we would walk there and everything. And I think, like shortly after, I moved to Jersey. I want to say it was 2008. 2008 feels right. 2009 is like, because I only lived in Jersey. I only lived in Jersey for like the holidays. So it was wintertime. So I wintered in Long Beach Island. And it wasn't long, although it feels like it was long. But when I came back, that's when I famously called you from a Cumberland Farms parking lot.
Oh, that
was
one.
I was about to break my vegetarianism.
Yeah.
And I was calling you to let you know that I was basically eating a buffalo chicken sandwich from Cumberland Farms in the parking lot, the one that's right next to Uno's, or the Uno's that was there. It's just calling you to confess my sins. So that's circa 2008, 2009.
Yeah, I felt like because I feel like
We did
maybe
just
end
about
of 2000, because again, 2007 sticks in my head a little bit. Because I
yeah.
think that is the year, because the beginning of the year, January, is when the Bears made the Super Bowl, because it was 06 07. And I
Okay.
think that was the
I remember
start of
talking to you
things.
during that.
And that's the thing,
Yeah.
like we knew each other, and I don't know, it's like, hey, you want to go get a drink? We went to Uno's. And
Yeah.
obviously we had, I mean, obviously we knew we both like movies and games. So it was like, hey, this guy likes
Yeah.
games. So again, I don't
Yeah.
know the months. So I think my brain goes to 07. And then, yeah, you went to New Jersey and I was kind of bummed. I'm like, well, all right. And yeah, I didn't know if you were coming back. So at that time, obviously we were both doing our own things. And yeah, then you came back and
Nobody knew.
no one knew.
That's when you
Uh,
gave me a job. That's when. So when I came back is when you gave me a job in Lawrence, right?
yeah. And that's gonna, we're gonna hold off on that story for a little bit, Soto. Um,
Because
I,
that started everything.
you
I
know what?
went down a
Fuck it,
path.
fuck it. So I was gonna start with fun questions, but we kind of led
Uh,
into a question, a very serious question I have for you, Soto. So
oh
because I
my
was like,
god.
I didn't want to start off something serious. I have some fun ones, but yes, but there is a question, and this is going to be a very deep thought, but we kind of went there, and it goes with what we're talking about. So Soto, I'm going to ask you this. Are you ready for this? I'm going to start off. We'll go back and forth.
Ready. Great segue.
It is. But Soto, it's about to get deep, and we've joked about this a bit. But what do you think your
Okay.
life would be like if you never met me?
If I
You-
never met
if
you,
I never, like, say I never even came to Blockbuster, and, like, whatever, my life never came. Because we've joked about this.
dude.
But what do you think? Because obviously, things that have happened. You just said it. Because you going to Jersey had nothing to do with me. You coming back to Jersey, it's not like you can't, so that part of your life obviously would have happened regardless. But you just said, I brought you to Lawrence, and a lot of your personal life happened because you went to Blockbuster Lawrence. So,
It, it
what
did.
do
Yeah.
you think your life would be like? Because what would have
Wow.
happened? Think about this. What would have happened if you came back from Jersey? Because you wouldn't have gone to Lawrence. What do you
Yeah.
think you would have done? Honestly.
It's so I'm gonna put myself to where I was back then. So I was in
Yeah,
a
of course.
relationship on and off. Um, I left because, well, one of the reasons I left New Jersey, one of the reasons that Jack and I left for New Jersey was because we wanted to like put ourselves in a brand new situation. And in my relationship that I was in, uh, we had already broken up like 3 or 4 times, but we just one of those relationships you just keep getting back together. And you're well aware of this whole entire thing
Hmm.
too, because there's a Volkswagen Cabriolet involved. Um, that you had to drive. But anyways, I digress. So I came back because I wanted to see, when I came back from Jersey, I wanted to see if that relationship was still going to be viable. And I kind of, put it to her and being like, okay, like we had both kind of made an agreement that we would try again, like afterwards. Um, but then it just went right off the fucking rails. So what would I have done? Because now it's like there's so much after that time that involves you.
So yeah,
Uh,
correct. And
so,
because a
like
part of
I'm
me
trying to
thinks,
delete you.
obviously, what because again, so I don't want to jump ahead too much. And yes, I know you
Yeah,
and Sarah have toasted me every time. Jokingly, we've talked about I'm the reason you met, but I didn't get you two together.
very
It's not
much
like,
so.
hey, but at the same time, I look at this two ways, and we'll go back to this. Like, is there because to me, I think you might have gone to Spitbrick Road Blockbuster and tried to get a job there, or maybe you had just been like, fuck Blockbuster. I don't know, but like if you needed a job, which you did, you
Right.
might have gone back
Yeah.
there. And if you're one, and anyone that's listening, if you believe in like fate and any of that, yeah, you still could have worked your way up and eventually got in Lawrence because that would have probably opened up sooner or later. Just that relationship might have happened later. So again, I'm just saying I jokingly always take the credit because it's just funny to me. And I just like, yeah, so do you owe me. You met your wife because of me.
I
But
probably, and it's true, but I probably would have gone back home and lived with my parents, um, and probably just got a whatever job. Because at the time I was, me and Jack were really building on, sort of really his career as a musician, and that was kind of our sort of shared goal. Like in when I wrote my first screenplay, I wrote it in Jaffrey. He'd been living in Jaffrey, and we had a great writing setup where we would wake up every morning and we would have coffee, and then we would basically he would go into a studio and write his music, and then I would in the living room just write my screenplay and chain smoke cigarettes and drink like coffee all day. And then we did that all the time, and it was great. So I think I would have just gotten a job in order to continue that lifestyle because I was following him and his band, everywhere because I was doing photography for his band. And so I think I probably would have leaned into that a little bit more. I think I probably would have gone more towards, my friend. I have another friend named Rich, and he had floated the idea of just traveling the world together when we came back from New Jersey. And that idea sounded scary, and it also sounded really fun. Like he was like, "Hey," he's like, "I know we just had a fucked up situation, but him and I became really, really good friends." But he was like, "I know we had a really fucked up situation." He's like, "But what if we just like now that we're out of it and we don't live there, what if we just threw it all away and just traveled the world?" So I could have done that. I don't know. I mean, like, I definitely would not have gone, I guess, as corporate as I went because, uh, obviously, because you introduced me to my wife, basically, which is a whole other story.
Yeah, you had to grow up a little
Once
bit.
I did because, like, well, I say this all the time, and I'm not trying to be wishy washy when I say this, but in my 20s, when you and I would party and all that stuff, I mean, I just felt that like I didn't really have a concept of caring for somebody outside of myself, and you probably feel this way about when you first had Keely too, where it's like you really just don't. There was the first time that I was like, I now like care about something more than I care about myself, which I had never had. And so my priorities really became, going away from everything that was going on with my friend Jack and my friend Rich, and really kind of settling into this like, well, now I want to provide for, my new family unit that I have, which at the time was me, Sarah, and our cat. Um, and so I kind of went up this corporate thing. I ended up getting a job at Bob's Discount Furniture and climbed up the ranks, and then met another good friend of mine, Sean, who is gonna drink you pretty in our league. And yeah, my life went to a totally. I focused. That's where I guess ultimately, now that I'm thinking about it, I probably like stopped any artistic thinking like once that became my life. So I'm not saying this in a negative thing that you stopped all my art stuff because here we are, but I was heading towards like an artistic direction, but my life wasn't as fulfilled as it is now, if that makes sense. So I went towards a corporate thing and a corporate route and just trying to pay the bills and being responsible. And I went away from the art stuff. So I stopped watching movies. I stopped really connecting with the things that like were important to me in the early 2000s because I had found something that was more important than all those things put together, if that makes sense. So I think that I don't know. Who fuck knows? I'd be like stranded on an island somewhere. I guess if I never met you, I definitely wouldn't have like because if I hadn't met you, I guess I wouldn't be in the situation of October 27th. So I'm putting that out there too. But
All right, that is true.
like,
All right, I will give you that. But
no, I know, but like, like I need somebody to make sure that I don't. And I'm gonna just say this, and it sounds kind of bad, but I need somebody to make sure I don't hurt myself. Uh, like I need an adult to make sure that I'm supervised. So, I don't know. I really, my life would be unrecognizable uh, had I not met you and gone down that route. Becoming friends with you and going there is, I guess, now that we look at the last 20 years, it's changed my whole entire life. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'd be an old man on a cruise ship playing saxophone or something like that.
oh my god,
It's a long
that image is
way to
just
say.
hilarious to me for some reason. Just I see like the Hawaiian shirt, you playing it, just
Yeah,
so laid back.
yeah,
But the
yeah.
backtrack.
Or like, yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was like, I would be doing something stupid. I mean, I thought photography was something, but I don't know. I think that in order for you to accomplish anything, at least in my mind, my worldview, I think you have to have a good why. And before I met you and Sarah, I did not have a why in my life. So yeah, go ahead and backtrack.
No, so what I was going to say is something agreeing with you, like when you have some of that artistic thing, and I'll just tell a quick story. And this is
Hmm.
when Keely was teenagerish. This is before we took like a trip to New York City, and I was kind of talking to her a little bit about 9/11. But my point was also I was telling her how I was planning on going back to college for film, which she kind of, she knew I was into film, and I said then I found out I was becoming a dad, and she kind of said it, and I didn't mean that in a negative way. She's like, so hey, did I ruin your dreams? I said no, you became my dreams. I'm like, you can't, like you said, when you have, like you said, that person there, especially, I don't want to say it's different, but as a parent or, one way or another, it's like, it's a different kind of dream. And yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm like, I have no regrets of, because I told her, I said, I had the choice. I almost still could have gone to college and then, trying to get that together, then be a dad. But I'm like, I don't want to miss the beginning. And I said, I don't
Right.
regret it. I said, and I'm like, I can't explain being a parent to someone who's not a parent. I mean, to her, I'm like, someday you'll know. I'm like, but you're just a teenager. Just enjoy your life now, kind of thing. But I'm like, yeah, but I understand that you have more responsibilities that are bigger than you. And, you're not your own world anymore. And yeah, so I said I don't regret it. And but I've had that conversation with her, and I think she, she obviously understands. I'm like, and now I'm like, we can always go back. I'm like, I don't know if we can. If I want to that extent, but that's a, maybe do something a little
Well,
different. But I'm like, I just don't know if I have time to write a screenplay and try and push it for a movie. But there's other avenues which we've talked about. But go ahead.
like I think to that point though, right? It's like, even if you were given the option right now to go back in time and delete all that, but then, your pathway is now you're a famous big time director and you've made a movie and everything like that. Like you would never trade that for
No,
what ended up happening.
no,
Like not even a second thought. Like you'd be like, no. Like it's not like, so I could see where she's coming from, obviously asking that
mind you,
question when she's
teenager
younger.
age too. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like did I ruin it? It's like no, like you're the most, like it did, was my life, do I have any regret? I can't regret, like if I'm happy with the things that I have now, and I'm sure you feel this way too. It's like I can't regret anything that happened, really, even the bad things, because I mean, do I look at myself and go like, "Oh my god, I was an idiot"? Sure, but I would not change anything if this is the way that it turned out. I wouldn't, because then it's just the things that happened are too important. I went through my struggles and I went through everything, but that's why I can't imagine living such a like carefree life traveling the world. I mean, what they always say, what's for you is going to be for you, and that just wasn't for me. I was here I am on a podcast like 20 years later talking about it, but yeah, no, it's yeah, no, my life would be completely different. That's definitely the answer to that question. Unimaginably different.
all right, Soda, you're up. Pick a question. Hit me with it. I don't know if you want to go as deep or silly, but I know you said you had some things that are going to make me question or wonder. So I am here. What is the first question you would like to ask me?
Well, speaking of, there's a Keeley one here, so I'm
Go
gonna
for
I'm
it.
gonna segue right into it. So, here's the scenario that I came up with, right?
Oh, wait. Okay.
Um,
Role playing. Got it.
so
Sorry.
role playing. So Keely brings home her new fiance for you to meet, which will happen.
Yep.
Upon meeting him, and I'm assuming it's him, I'm not trying to assume, but
No.
upon meeting him, you find out he's a diehard Bears fan. And you guys are just like vibing and you're connecting on so many levels. Like you share the same sports opinions, like all these things, right? Like it's just going so great. But then he also slides in that he believes that the earth is flat. How does that conversation go from there?
Okay, whoa, all right, all right, all right, all right. Hold on. Well, I will say it would have been worse if he was a Packers fan. I don't know if I could live with that.
That's worse.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. I joke because I do actually have family members who are Packers fans, but so no. I'm trying to like put my because I know we talked. Well, no, because we talked about this whole flat Earth thing, and it's just like there's science behind it, and we get that. I mean, we don't get it, but we know that there's a lot of people that believe this, different versions of it too. It's like they're not on the same page.
Yes.
So,
is it a deal breaker?
Not if she's okay with it, because you know what? Here's the thing. I mean, is it a deal breaker? Am I going to make fun of him behind his back? Fuck yeah. Or me and you're going to be like, there's a difference. But if he's treating Keely well and she's honestly happy and she's like, listen, I don't get it. That's his, if it became her thing, I don't know. That might be a different thing, but I know she has a brain. But like us, has made mistakes in her early 20s too. So we all have done that, but that's fine. So I don't think she would ever believe that way. But if she was just happy and everything else, and this is just the one thing, because, yeah, I mean, that would be my more bigger concern. Just like, hey, she's good, whatever. And I would just kind of politely tell him, I said, listen, I don't believe that way. Just don't push it on me. Because I think same thing I've talked about with, well, no, because same thing I've talked about with politics or religion. I'm like, I don't care. You know what? You believe in whatever religion, that's fine. Just don't try and change me and who I am. I mean, I'm almost 50. My brain's pretty much already set. I'm not changing shit for anyone at this age. But yeah, I mean,
don't you question somebody that believes that the Earth is flat?
I would question it, but don't you
think that they're fundamentally fucking broken?
I don't know. Well, there's a lot of things that could be fundamentally broken.
It's like you just have to go outside and see that the Earth is round. Like that, anybody can go and do it. Like you don't have to be a scientist to prove this. Like anybody can go out there and figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I mean? It's like so. You guys are vibing. You're talking about how awesome Jay Cutler was.
I don't think I would ever say that, but okay.
You're talking about the good old days of.
All right, so all this happened in one. All right, yes. So all this is happening in one conversation.
Yes, and he's like, so, and also, man, he's like, I believe the Earth is flat, man. Like, and do you think that too?
Well, would it kill the mood a little bit? Probably. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, but so I didn't. All right, so all this, I didn't know this was just over time thing, but all this got thrown to me really quick. One conversation. No,
yeah, you met him.
Yeah, no. I mean, wow. I met a fiance before, boyfriend. I'm gonna ask my daughter why it took her so long, to introduce us. But anyhow, that's a different story. You know what? Is it a deal breaker to a point? Yes. I don't know, but it depends how much he brings it up to. Like, I mean, I'm not going to look at it and say, I'm like, God, yes, I'm sorry. People believe in flat Earth. I don't get it. Like you said, go outside. There is science that you can do just in a tall building, just like, hey, and just, you can figure it out.
Yes.
Yep. There's so many, don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's so many conspiracy theories out there that are true that we don't want to really know. And that's fine. I'm going to live in my carefree life right now because I'm like, it's not affecting me. So yes, I
mean, not.
It's not for the most part. Most of it's not until you start telling me all your shit and stuff like that. All these other conspiracy theories, and then I'm like, all right, hold on, leave me alone.
Well, does daylight savings time affect you?
Not as much as some people. No, I'm actually can't wait. It's all right.
But it does affect you. It does it does ruin your schedule for at least a day or two.
No, no. Right now, this week is ruining my schedule because it's so dark early. Now, I need to talk about this as a morning person. And let me explain why. Because I work every morning. I deliver mail, blah, blah, blah. I rather have the light in the morning. So I want us to go back so it's more daylight then. I don't care about the evening. I'm home. Yes, I look outside. I'm like, God, it's only 5 o'clock. Wow, it's dark. Whatever. I'm in my house. At that point, I don't care. So right now, it's more this week that's affecting me because, it's just like, God, I left for work and it's already, it's because I leave early. It's still dark a little bit and I'm like, fuck, I can't wait till it's a little bit lighter. But I get people who are more the night people or evening workers and stuff like that because they want to come home a little bit late. So I don't think it affects me as much. I think I'm just used to it by now. So
the Earth is round. That's why that exists. Like you
oh
have
no,
to account
correct.
for the Earth being round. Like that. It's like, you know what I mean? Like that's something that, like, you don't believe that that somebody landed on the moon. Fine. Like I can give that to you and be like, sure, whatever. I don't subscribe to bullshit like that, but sure. That what's going on in the moon literally does not affect my day to day.
Nope.
The Earth's rotation and the seasons and the way the sun comes up and the way the sun goes down, those shit have that has an actual effect on my life. And you just said it has an actual effect on yours. So when somebody's like, "Oh, the Earth is flat," I'm just like, "Yeah," like what? How can you come to that conclusion? That's just something that is missing from your brain. So, yeah, conspiracy theories, like you said, they, whatever. I don't care. Doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect me. But the Earth going around, the sun and shit like that, that's a big one.
Yeah, keeps us warm, keeps us cold, whatnot. When we can't see it, and yeah, if we stopped rotating, we'd all be dead because we'd fly like 1,000 miles per hour in one direction. I still don't get it, and I don't get how this all came about. I mean, I guess I understand thousands and thousands of years ago before people understood. That maybe get to the edge of the earth that you couldn't see, whatever, because it was different times. But Earth is round, people. So yes, if Keely brought home a fiance or boyfriend, we probably wouldn't be talking as much. I'd just be like, oh God. And again, I would just be like, listen, I believe the Earth is round. Don't talk to me about this. Go Bears. What is Caleb Williams? Just turn the conversation back.
Yeah.
I mean,
Jay Cutler or Rex Grossman? Which one?
Well, Cutler has the better stats. I don't know. Technically, either way. So again, I mean, my overall concern, as any parent should, if she's happy, that's fine. If she's like, Dad, I can deal with this, whatever. He's a flat earther. He's dumb as shit in that. But everything else, he treats me well. I'm like, okay, he treats you well. I'm good. Whatever. Then I talk to her like, please, when you have kids, just don't put that flat earth on the kids. Just raise the kids right. Send them to science classes early.
You're like, please don't expose my grandchildren to this nonsense.
But I go to the fact that I think Keely would be smart enough. That could be a deal breaker for her. Because I'm sure there's certain things that she's just like, no, I can't. She's like, I like you, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, if you don't, whatever, I can't deal with this. But we'll see. Whenever she brings home her, again, I hope she doesn't bring someone to meet me as a fiance. At least let me get that first introduction. Hey, I'm dating her boyfriend. Maybe when it's a little bit more serious. Like, okay, yep, good. But yeah,
if she does, and I will say this right now, if I am alive to see, a Keely fiance situation,
you should be.
But you never know.
That's
but
true.
Like, if I'm alive to see the situation, she's like, yep, he put a ring on it, all that stuff, blah blah. I am going to see this man. And I'm going to be like, hey, I have just one question for you.
We'll just parade all my friends, that have known Keely throughout the years. Like, you got to survive all these questions. They all have one question. And then he gets scared. Question. Is the Earth flat?
That is it.
No, you pass. That's it. Right, that's it.
All I want to know. And that this passes. I'm good. This has my blessing. Like, we can move forward. That's going to be my test right there. So, there you go.
Yeah.
See what happens. Promise made.
I'll make it happen. I was like, all right, they're getting serious, Soto. We got to. I don't know the answer yet.
You got to ask.
You know what's going to happen now. This time's going to come in whatever 2, 5, 10 years, whatever. It happens. Mm-hmm. And this conversation is going to come back in my brain. Like, I'm going to forget about this probably a little bit the next few weeks because, again, a lot of things I forget easily. But then that happens. I'm like, wait, Soto had a question for him. Oh, my God. Like, I need to know. And it's going to be one of the first things I ask him now. But yes, I don't know if I can deal with it. But then again, I put flat earthers in the same conversation as Packer fans. I don't know what's wrong with their brains, but, they're there. Sorry.
Packers fans. Wow, you're really mad about the Packers. Holy shit.
You know what? The hatred Bears fans have for Packers is the same that Red Sox fans had for the Yankees fans.
Had yeah. Because I mean, I don't hate the Yankees. I mean, I dislike them, but I don't have like a venomous hatred towards the Yankees like I used to in the late '90s.
But that's
I just don't like. I do wish bad things on them all the
yeah.
time, but I don't hate them.
It's because they think they're better than everyone, and I think that hard part is Yankees haven't been relevant in quite some time. So, but they're the same because once they're doing well, everyone else is shit. But anyhow,
I mean, yeah, I hate that franchise. Well, I don't hate the franchise, but I feel like a lot got exercised in 2004, where that whole like holier than thou 27 championship thing. Um, it was like made even in that whole entire series in the ALCS in 2004. So, yeah.
All right, Soto, I'm going to segue now because I had a couple other questions, but this conversation has led to a question I actually had. So Soto, you are a Boston sports fan. Actually, I have
Sure
a,
am.
I need a, I need a, I actually have a question before my main question. I just, wait, no. This is more curiosity. This isn't part of the fun. This is actually more of a curiosity. Did you move from California to here? How old were you again when you, what, 8? Wasn't 9, 10? What was the age?
No, I was actually I want to say 11 or 12 years
Oh,
old.
so
Because
older.
it was in 6th grade that I moved here.
So I'm gonna have a two-parter. This just kind of came up. So you grew up in
Yes.
California. Why? How'd you become more of a Boston sports guy? Is it just because you grew up here? Like, did you not watch a lot of sports in California? This is genuinely curious because I'm like at 11, you're kind of getting into
Yeah.
sports maybe. So I guess I'm. This is more of a curiosity how you became a Boston sports guy instead of a
Yeah.
California sports guy. So I'm curious.
So I've been a sports fan pretty much all my life. So in California, I was a humongous San Francisco 49ers fan. And that is because my mom was a big fan of Joe Montana. So
Smart mom.
every Super Bowl Sunday. Yeah, so Super Bowl Sunday um was like a big thing in our house. I think you and I joked when I bought KFC recently on football Sunday. I might do it again tomorrow. But my mom would like she made Super Bowl Sunday be like this really awesome thing to look forward to, and she was like, she was teaching us about how awesome Joe Montana was and everything, and we just went with it, and we loved him. And so I grew up a humongous Joe Montana fan, and then when Steve Young took his job, my mom was hated Steve Young, so then naturally I hated Steve Young as well. And so around that time, you can actually probably this will actually point to what I really moved over here if we want to do the research, because Joe Montana went to the Kansas City Chiefs with Marcus Allen.
Yeah.
And I was a humongous Joe Montana fan. So I followed Joe Montana to the Chiefs. I wasn't really like I didn't grow up because I moved around so much as a kid because I was in the military in a military family. I never really like settled into like a place to live. So I kind of was just went with at a time, my mom liked Joe Montana, so I did too. And then my dad would always root for whoever was going against us. My dad was like the ultimate devil's advocate in our house. He was just the villain. Like he was like somebody that we would root against, and we were always on my mom's side. And so Joe Montana went to the Chiefs. So I remember coming over and moving to New Hampshire. I had a humongous Kansas City Chiefs starter jacket. Now this is you're probably laughing because of how much I hate the Chiefs now. So I had a humongous Chief starter jacket, like just whatever. And I moved in, and everyone just laughed at me when I walked in first day of 6th grade. I'll never forget because it's like it's hard to move, but when you move and then you're in the middle of the school year, like you're the new kid who comes in halfway through the year, it's like that's even worse.
Yeah.
Um, the year that we were here, though, the first year, I made a promise to myself that I was going to be a fan of the sports teams that were here, and it started with football. The year that I moved here was the year that Drew Bledsoe was drafted. I believe Robert Kraft bought the Patriots. The year that I started becoming a Patriots fan. It was like 1993, 1994. I want to say
93 sounds right.
Yeah.
But you could be right 94.
So
But yeah.
and I said this is my team. I did not become a Red Sox fan until 1997. That was Nomar Garciaparra's rookie season, if I'm not mistaken. Nomar Garciaparra is what got me into the Red Sox because I was watching a random game. And now I got into the Red Sox by myself. My parents didn't watch baseball. I had just happened to watch a game, in which Nomar Garciaparra hit 3 home runs. 2 of them were grand slams, and 1 was a 3-run home run. And that game like got me into Nomar Garciaparra, and then got me into the Boston Red Sox. And so that's how I became a Boston sports fan. I did not become a Celtics fan until like 6, 7 years ago, because I wasn't really into basketball. But a good friend of mine was into the Celtics, so I wanted to have something that I could talk to him about at work. And so I got into the Celtics. I think it was the year they drafted Jason Tatum. I've never been into hockey, so I didn't get into the Bruins. But that is why I am a Boston sports fan, because when I moved here, I immediately adopted, and the Patriots were terrible at the very beginning.
Oh God, yes.
And so I felt like it felt natural to get in on the ground floor with the Patriots, and I've been a Patriots fan ever since. So, yeah, I settled on this region because for the first time when I moved to New England, the first time in my life, I actually had a place to call home that was stable and where I was going to live. And here we are.
All right, so you kind of, I think I know an answer, so I'm going to change my question up just a little bit, especially because you mentioned the Celtics. So I'm going to take the Celtics out of this equation now that I got that. So Soto, you've seen a lot of Boston teams, and you'll understand why now. And you've seen a lot of Boston teams, win championships and big moments for both the Patriots and more so for the Red Sox. Now, originally I had the Celtics as part of this, but I'm going to take them out because I think I'm going to make this a little harder. So,
okay,
Patriots or Red Sox? If you had a race, one team's all their championships, who are you racing? Which means if you race the Patriots, no Tom Brady, none of that. Greatest team in history, greatest player in history. Red Sox, obviously, what is it, 86 years? I had the Celtics as part of this. I'm like, he's going to go Celtics. Because obviously, if you were more in the Bird era, I'm like, I'm like, all right, there's no way. So, yes, I know you're not into hockey.
If
so
I had to erase their championships.
Erase one of their championships. And they'll never win. Say what?
Like all their championships or one
in your lifetime championship. So basically, if you erase the Patriots, there's no Tom Brady. There's no greatest dynasty ever. If you erase the Red Sox, they still have yet to win the World Series since they traded Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
So
a binary decision. Yeah.
It is a lose-lose. I mean, again, it's basically now you're picking between your two children, which one you like best, so to speak.
It's an easy one for me though.
Oh, okay.
And the reason that it's easy for me is because nothing will ever be as emotionally impactful as the 2004 World Series and the 2013 World Series. Those 2 World Series, I know they've won 4, but those 2 World Series to me are some of the most special moments in my life. I would actually say 2013 is my favorite Red Sox World Series championship because of the whole thing that happened that year. And it was the first year that Sarah and I watched from beginning to end. It was the Boston Strong, the Boston Marathon bombing, all that stuff. And the way that I think that team had 21 walk-offs that year. It was just magical. Plus David Ortiz is just one of the greatest clutch players of all time, if not the greatest. I mean, the man just made miracles happen. And baseball is one of those sports where, like miracles happen on a regular basis in baseball. I love the Patriots. Of course, football will always be like my first love, but I'm way more like romantic about baseball. So my long answer is that I would delete the Patriots championships over I would delete the Red Sox ones. The Red Sox just meant it just meant way too much. And I love baseball, as stupid and boring as it is. I love it. If it makes sense for me to say this, I enjoy football more, but I still love baseball more. I know that doesn't make any goddamn sense, but that's how I feel. Like I love football. It's great to watch. I keep up with it. It's simple. It's whatever. But I mean, baseball is just. I just feel very romantic about baseball when I think about it. So I would delete the Patriots.
All right, Red Sox. I'm going to share a story about this 2013 Red Sox team. And it's funny that you brought this up. Well, okay. You'll understand. And then we'll go to your next question. So obviously me and Jill, we started dating the beginning of 2013, January. And that was the year they won. So I proposed kind of back for the Red Sox won the 2013. And I don't know how far. So the way, and I'm going to give you a proposal story, basically. We started watching, she never saw The Walking Dead. So she was coming over. And I saw the first 2.5, 3 seasons, I forget. But she never saw it, so I had on DVD. So I was backtracking with her, so she can catch up for like. So anyhow, she came over and I bought a World Series champion shot glass, Red Sox. I bought a cheesecake because it was our thing. And what I tried to do is I put like the shot glass upside down, but I had the ring kind of right there. And I'm like, oh, let's have some dessert. So, like, hey, here's a kind of a present for you, the shot glass, this and that. So hence why this. What happened was, though, because I think I pushed the shot glass a little too far down, I didn't mean to. It took some of the cake and the ring with it. So she picked up the shot glass, and I'm hearing it. I'm like, oh, fuck. And she has no clue, obviously. So I'm like, oh, let me just clean this off for you. And because so I kind of... She didn't know why I was kind of panicking. And I was like, so I cleaned the shot glass, and the ring was fine, obviously. And I kind of came back and I said, well, because she felt bad. She thought she broke the shot glass was broken too, somehow and I'm like, no. And I kind of said, well, what I thought was going to happen kind of happened differently. And yes, that's how I proposed. So yes, the 2013, even though, yes, I'm not, the Cubs winning meant a lot to me because obviously family and stuff like that, but 2013 Red Sox, that's the reason. So yeah, she still has that shot glass. And yeah, I fumbled the engagement hilariously, but it still obviously worked out. Here we are, like 12 years later. So yeah, once you said that year, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. That's when we started dating.
It was a good year, 2013, man.
It was a good year.
Well, not for the Boston Marathon bombing, but
good year for us personally. Hold on, I more meant us personally. I'm sure every year there's a lot of shit that happens. People are like, well, this happened. I'm like, okay, but can I just say I had a good year? Come on, man.
2013 was awesome. Because, right around that happened, it was like 420, and David Ortiz was like, this is our fucking city and everything. It was awesome. So, but yeah, people kind of look at me funny when I say I like 2013 the most, but I just, like I was telling my buddy Sean the other day, the 86th year drought, sure. And of course that whole experience was its own thing, but I can only frame my life in the context of where it's at, and I look more fondly on 2013 than I do 2004. So
interesting. That's good. All right, Soto, hit me with your next one.
This one's gonna be a tough one.
Oh, tough personal or just tough to? All right, you know what? Whatever. Just hit me with it.
I think it's gonna make you pause a little bit. You're gonna have to think about it. Okay.
So gut check's gonna be hard. I am ready.
Okay. It's gonna be this is a two-parter. You ready?
Okay. Yep. Wait, hold on. Do I need to listen to both parts first, or am I answering part one first?
No, you can. I'm gonna say both parts.
Okay.
They'll be hand in hand with each other.
Okay, no, so, I just didn't know if
I want to tell, and I just want to give you a disclaimer. None of these questions were generated by ChatGPT.
Oh, same. No, I did not generate any questions either.
No.
So
they're generally questions I want to hear you answer. So, all right.
I am ready.
We talk a lot about movies.
Yes, we do.
We watch a lot of movies.
Yes, we do.
We talk about them all the time.
Yes, we do.
Wow,
these are easy questions. I love it, Soto.
You're yes or no. You are asked to make a movie about your life, but it can only be about 1 week in your life. What week is that? And also, what is the ending credit song?
All right, so I'm going to talk about this as I'm thinking this out.
Talk it out.
Because there's a few moments. And first of all, it has, to me, to answer this, it has to be something that's somewhat entertaining, or at least something that could be a movie. You know what I mean?
I mean, sure, if you want an entertaining movie.
But you're hard. Well, no. I mean, something, because hard part is two of them bleed together, but it's longer than a week. You know what I'm saying?
Look, Marty McFly only had 1 week to deal with his shit. You know what I mean? So.
And then so hard part is because I have good answers, but it's not just a week. I have something that I can do that's from a month. I could give a whole story from one situation, but that lasted over months. But it's like one thing that happened.
A week in your life.
But just a week of my life.
You've lived. Yeah. I mean, because you've lived almost 50 years. That's a lot of weeks.
It is. And I keep going. God, so hold
I
on.
told you it's
No,
gonna
no,
be
no,
hard.
no. Now let me ask you a question. All right.
Oh, this is how it works. Gonna ask me
No, no,
a
no, no,
question.
no, no. I need a little clarification about this.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
you're just saying any movie. It's not like my happiest week. You're just saying something. I need to make a movie about 1 week of my life. It doesn't matter if it's happy, sad, or anything like that.
Yeah,
Correct?
a movie because you know how movies go, right? Movies have a three act structure, right? So
Okay.
what movie is that? What week is that?
Honestly, it's going to be the
Yes.
week, and this is going to get very deep. So I don't know how to time. I cheat a little because not that it's a week. It could be 8 9 days. I don't know my timetable, so I'm just going to leave it at that.
I
It's
don't know
going to
my
be
times.
no. You'll understand why. Um, it's going to be the week that we took a film to the New York Film Festival, 9/11, and then basically Keeley happened because
Wow,
it's
that was
when
all in 9 days.
basically. So kind of a little of the story, about yes, I was in 9/11 for a movie.
Hmm.
We went to LA. This whole experience I would make in a movie is what I was trying to say. Like from us making a movie, going to LA, which was an experience in itself, and then going to New York. Because it was just the opening day. Because we did because again promotion. There was no social media. There was nothing. We had made these postcards, and we're trying to
Hmm.
hand out promote our movie. Blah blah blah. So our movie showed in L.A. It never officially showed in New York, because obviously 9/11 happened before our movie was supposed to show. But there was a big event, and we're talking to people, and just trying to hey come see. That's all it was. Like you're trying to meet other directors. Get people to go and
Networking. Yeah.
networking. Correct. And
Hmm.
it was at this was at a time when FYI smoking in a bar just became illegal. Like I remember we went to LA and that's when they stopped. Like it stopped, like literally right beforehand. But anyhow, so if you had to choose a week, I'm just gonna kind of choose the end of this. But I would make this whole event, and yeah. So obviously, outside of my family and anything that this film and what we did is the biggest accomplishment of my life. And I've said this time, seeing it on the big screen in LA, still think about it, gives me goosebumps. Like, and I know there's
Hmm.
so much wrong with it because again, it was our first. Me and Dan have talked about countless times things we would fix. Just because you learn. But
Hmm.
yeah, it would be our events because also for going to Dan on 2 days before 9/11, we were on top of the Empire State Building. Dan's family came. This is just a fun day. We did a little tour, and I have a picture, and we saw the World Trade Center 2 days before 9/11, and we were even talking about, hey, we should go there, and just if we got time,
Wild.
check it out. And I actually still have a
Yeah.
picture of the World Trade Center on September 9th. And so yes, obviously I'm not going to go into the events of 9/11. And then it was also, well, getting out of there because the weirdest thing for us was after it all happened, everyone's back. If anyone who's been to New York City knows how busy it is. It's like, just everything going around. And after this happened, and after, for lack of better, both towers settled, the streets were empty. Like we looked outside, we went outside to smoke, and just like you're seeing nobody. Everyone's watching their TV,
Oh
and that was the
yeah.
weirdest
Yep.
thing to me. And then we tried to get out the next day, and luckily we did, because I dropped my car off in Connecticut. I lived in New Hampshire, but Dan and Foley were from Minnesota. Dan's sister and brother were in Connecticut, so this all kind of worked out. And we got home, and I think there was a bomb threat in Grant. So we got out luckily right in time because they actually had to
Hmm.
delay a lot. And I still remember seeing my dad when I got home. And yes, for yeah, so this also when, for lack of better terms, Keeley happened because it was our first time too. And I'll just leave it at that. So that was our very, very first time because at that time I still wasn't sure about my life. I still wanted to, do this film thing. And so, in a weird way, that's what I would do. Kind of it hits a little of everything because I think I emotionally I let everything out when I saw my dad. Because I was so
Right.
like I
Yeah.
gotta get home, I got this, and I was home, and yeah, because he lived in Mass at that time, and then yeah, I went up to New Hampshire, and then literally right after that, I had to go get Dan and Foley because they had no way home. There's no planes going. So I'm like, I'm out of work. I actually quit my job for a lot of this. And I said, because again, I was planning on moving. And I said, well, I'll come pick you guys up and we'll just do a road trip back to Minnesota. And then, so we had that road trip together and then seeing, my sisters and my mom. So in a weird way, that's why it's 8-9 days. I can't tell you like this happened this day, this happened this day. So again, I'm not going to say it, but that whole event from the few days leading up, taking the best thing again, outside of family, our movies, this and like, all right, we've done this in LA. This is going to be great. We're in New York City. This is great. We did a little sightseeing, obviously the events. There's the reason why Keeley happened. And then, yeah, so the trip home, like all that to me is just like a roller coaster of emotions. So again, I if I'm making it entertaining, it's that because it involves a lot of personal moments in my life. And then the weirdest statement I've ever said, and Kaylee knows this. I've said this to her and she kind of jokes, but she kind of understands the seriousness. I'm like, yeah, I hate to make a joke of it, but there was a time like if it wasn't for 9/11, I don't know if you would have been born. So basically that kind of gave me the best thing in my life. And so it's weird. She always texts me on 9/11, hey, thinking of you and stuff like that. So yeah, it's so weird. It's something obviously so horrific in American history.
A world event, like a major world event.
Yeah. And but it also really shook because we talked about this. I think when we got back to Minnesota, like the first night we all kind of went out drinking. Afterwards, we went to a karaoke, but people were singing, and it was just like especially nowadays, world is so divided. Like this brought world, but the country's so divided. I should say, not the world. Country's so divided. This brought everyone together, and it's sad that it took something like that to bring in like both sides. And here we are. We're not going to get into politics, but everyone knows what's going on in the States right now, regardless of what side you're on. So yeah, I mean, if I had to make something a movie that would be somewhat entertaining, somewhat personal, and I say entertaining, just something that could be made in a movie, because it involved me making the movie, us making the movie, getting ready to show it, obviously that event, and then obviously it was the start of reason I became a dad. So it hits a lot. And again, that moment with my dad, it's always etched in my brain. Right. Just like I said, coming home and literally I cried my eyes out. So yeah,
stress. Yeah,
it was, getting home. Cause I think, when we got to Connecticut, they're like, they're like, hey, you want to hang out for a little bit? Let's get, I'm like, I want to go home. Like my brain saying like, I'm glad you guys are here, blah, blah. We got you safe. Right. I'm like, I just want to go home. And, when we found out, obviously no planes, this and that again. And, we talked a lot about that road trip, because I think when I picked them up, like, I can't take the first, I was so tired, so exhausted. I'm like, so yeah, we took my car so they didn't have to pay for a rental. And I'm like, yeah, I can visit my sisters. I think my mom would happen to be out there as well at that time. So yeah, she wasn't living out here no more. That's right. But yeah, so if I had to make any week my movie, I guess it would be that because it's a huge story to tell. And obviously a big world event too. So yeah, that got deep.
Well, what's the ending credit song?
Oh God, I forgot about that.
The most important thing, right? Like when we hit the credits, like what song's playing?
Sorry, I'm now thinking this out because a song came to mind, but I'm also trying to think of a song that. All right, this is a tough one because I don't know. All right, because I have a song in mind, but because the song didn't exist in that time period. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to think of a song that
doesn't need to.
I know, but it doesn't.
Does not need to. We're making that movie. We're making the movie right now. And this is we can put whatever soundtrack we want.
No, I know. All right, so I will give the song, and it's the first one that came to mind, and I'm going to explain why. So growing up with Kaylee, now we watched Glee together a little bit. She was big into it, and I did watch it with her, and I bought her a lot of the soundtracks. Just also on like the iPad. Someone gave me all the songs, blah blah blah. And I don't know why long time ago, she said the song made her think of me. and we've talked about it from time. And in a weird way, it's become our song, and it's probably going to be our first dance when she does get married, stuff like that.
It's like the Keeley episode.
It is. It is. Because, well, this movie is kind of, like, so, but it also, with the events, this can be so even though it's the Glee version, I don't even know who sings the original one. I'm kind of looking up. I think it's now by Keane. Actually, it came out in 2004, so it's not. But it's a song called "Somewhere Only We Know." I don't know if you know that song.
By Keane?
By Keane.
By the band Keane? That's a great fucking song.
It is. We fell in love with the song again for I think his name was Darren Criss, by the character.
I love that song.
But that song, she thinks of me. And like I said, I think that, again, I mean, when she gets married to the guy that is a flat earther, thanks to you. But I feel...
Let's hope not.
Going to the past question, she always said that song made her think of me. Again, not that version, but the Glee version.
Great song.
It is a great song, and I listen to it a lot. So... And I think it would fit because of her, but it also could fit because of the event and stuff like that. So that's why I was like, I was trying to think of something that I'm like, well, but
that's
to
like
me, yeah, that would be the song. You would watch it?
What, now that I know it ends like that, I mean, it's a great, that whole movie, like, your relationship with your daughter and everything, like, the crossroads of like, wanting your life to be something else and then it becomes something completely different, and like how family, like the messages and all that stuff, and like the personality of it. I mean, that's a great fucking movie.
Yeah. So yeah, that would be my 1 week, or maybe 8-9 days.
Cool. I mean, I'm willing to bend the rules for that. I mean, yeah. And again, just ends up with a great fucking ending song and everything. I mean, yeah, like that. I think that's pretty awesome.
All right, so I'm going to lighten the mood a little bit. All right. This is honestly what started this whole idea that we should do this. I had a question, and I got to ask him. And this again, we're going to go fun, lighthearted. Because Soto, I've known you, we joked, for 20 years, almost 20 years, 18, 19, 20, whatever, we remember things.
Yes.
And you've had the same look for almost 20 years. What would it take for you to shave your beard? Because if there's one thing that's been always Soto since I've known you, because the only time I've seen you without a beard is, I think we were talking about the 2020, we're talking about graduation. You sent me your high school graduation picture. That's the only time I've seen Soto without a beard. Yeah. And because what would it take for you to shave your beard?
I can't do it now because I have been threatened with divorce if I do it. So I always had like a chin strap, even when we first became friends.
Correct.
Or I had some sort of facial hair. Like even
that's more yes, the Soto beard.
Right. Like even if it was a little goatee, but so funny the things that keep coming up in this episode that we did not plan, but they're just going to keep coming up. So in 2013, with the Red Sox had obviously they were bearded. That was their big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was a No Shave November in 2013. And I, for No Shave November, decided to just kind of grow out more of my beard. And Sarah fell in love with it. And, I've been threatened, now as it gets gray and everything like that, it's like I've been threatened that I cannot. So now it's permanent on my face. So I really can't, like I as long as I remain happily married, like I cannot shave this beard.
That's I can't fight that. That's unfair to me. No, because I understand. You know what I mean? It's like, well, what about this? What about this? And you're like, no, Sarah says we're divorced. Because I was going to throw in a situation, but obviously it's going to be no, because I know where they'd say. I'm like, let's just say you're unemployed. And, you got a new job, pays you just as much as now, we don't, but so something you got to take care of your wife and your family, as you say, but they're like, you need to shave your beard. Now, let's just say Sarah did not put this, final notice in on you.
I know, right? Like
contract. Let's take this, like that out of it a little bit. So I'm just talking about you personally at the moment, because again, I'm not going to win. no situation is gonna win against that. Let me rephrase. So
Right.
let's just take Sarah out of this and the divorce. I'll come.
Why
Hug
would
you
I
with me.
shave my fucking beard? Like, first of all, like, so let's say Sarah's not in the equation, right? Like
Or
you're
no,
just
she's
mentioning.
okay. She not
Well,
she can
she's
be in
fine
the
with it.
equation. Just the we're getting divorced if you shaved is part. Take that out of it.
Well, so all right. So if honestly, dude, like I haven't seen my face in so long. Like I don't even want to. I think I accidentally shaved my beard once, and I was just horrified by just what I look like. I wouldn't even be able to recognize myself. Would I ever be so down and out that I have to shave my face to get a job? It's funny because one of my bosses asked me to way back in like 2016, 2017. He was like, "Oh, like, you really should like come in and not have a beard." And I was like, "If you make me shave my beard, I'm just going to quit." Because I can have a beard and plus my wife said so. And actually my Sarah met with him recently and talked about that. She was like, he's not shaving his beard for anybody. But I personally, I mean, it's too late now, man. Like the beard is me. Maybe a large sum of money
Well,
would
that's why I
be,
threw the job thing out there. Just
yeah,
like if
like no,
this is
somebody was like, hey, I'll give you $1 million to shave your beard.
I'm sure
I
Sarah would
would
be
be
okay
pissed
with that
about
at
it.
that moment.
Yeah, I'd be pissed about it, and I would be sad, but I would do it. I would do it for a large sum of money, not for a career. I wouldn't sell out. Like if all of a sudden somebody asked me to be an FBI special agent or some shit like that. Um, I don't know. What would it take? Money, just straight money,
Just
because it's
money.
not going to come out of the top of my head anymore. So that's out of the question. So it's not going to come out of the top of my head. So I gotta have hair somewhere. Like now, my brand is I'm a bald bearded guy, and once that's your brand, that's who you are for the rest of your life. I'm pretty much Kratos, from God of War, minus all the muscles. That's it. That's it. So yeah, to answer your question, a lot of money
Okay.
and
I kind of
written
figured that would be
consent.
the easy answer. Don't get me wrong. Um, which I get.
Yeah.
What we do for a lot of money. We're not just doing this for a lot of money. We're doing this for a shitload of money.
Look, I mean, if it's life changing, I mean, the beard will
We'll
grow
come
back.
back. Yes. All
You
right.
know, it might grow back more whiter than it is now, which is a risk. But at the same time, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Because I can look at my dad, and my dad grows out his beard. It's like pure white. But my dad's also in his 70s, so I'm trying to hold on to the color that I have because I'm not going to use Just for Men. I'll never use Just for Men. Like I don't like because I know women have to do makeup because of societal norms and everything, or not. But I am just if I'm gonna get old, I'm gonna get old. I'm not gonna try to hide it. I'm not gonna try to lie to myself. Like it's all part of the natural aging process. So no
Yes, it is.
Just for Men for me.
No. No. All right, Soto.
I'm
We've
not-
been going over an
rude.
hour, but let's give you one more question because I know you got to
Oh
get
God,
going.
one more.
One more to me
One more.
because
Okay, because that was a pretty good last one we had.
that was a good last one. I was just trying to even it out. I mean, we could end this, but I just figured if you have a quick
Oh
fun
no,
one,
because I do have some fun. Okay,
whatever,
actually,
or what, I don't want to persuade you. Whichever one. I just figured this way it's almost like three each. So, because I do have a
okay,
few others, but
I'll
anyway.
end it on this one.
All right,
And
let's
we'll
end it
save
on
it
this one.
for we'll continue this series of questions as
I'm sure
as we
we'll
go
have
on.
plenty. There's others, yeah. But go ahead, ask me
Okay.
the final question
All
of
right.
this podcast.
All right, so we're not gonna we won't make this one an emotional roller coaster.
That's up to you. Yeah,
Wow.
I'm not going to persuade you. We're getting to know each
All
other,
right.
Soto. That's
I know,
21
right?
years.
After all these years. Well, I mean, I just found out within the last 2 years that you're allergic to bees. So I mean, things.
Again, it's not
We
like you
didn't know.
ever would know that because it's not like we were ever camping or hanging out outside. Where do we hang out? At bars. There's no bees in fucking bars. It's not like so. Then listen, something happens here, and I start breaking out. Stab me with this, or at least call 911. Yeah, the situation just never called for. It's like, yeah. Anyhow, go ahead.
Okay, you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, so excluding Blockbuster Video.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so excluding Blockbuster Video or really video rental stores overall. What cultural norm would you bring back if you had the power?
Cultural norm.
Yeah, like something that we don't do anymore that you would love to see come back.
Oh
Could be
God.
anything.
No, no, I know. I'm just trying to. I've gone with the norm so much because it's like I'm trying to think. Is there things that what is not cultural norm that I would want to bring back, or just things that I feel like aren't here, but maybe they are still going on
Well, because like
somewhere.
video rental stores used to be like you didn't think about them; they were just part of our. It was normal
Correct.
to go to a video store to rent a movie.
Yep.
So, out of things that have disappeared from the way that we do things, like what would you like? What would you bring back if you could?
All right. I gotta kind of explain. Yeah, I
You're like, I don't think
no no
about
because I don't have a good answer, but I have an answer. As I got because I joked about this, and people, as a lot of people joke about this about getting older, but I kind of still we joked about what life was like before social media and cell phones and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And obviously, I can't speak for everyone that has grown up this way.
Mhm.
Because again, I know some people have grown up less fortunate. I've grown up in great, decent neighborhoods. Um, middle class. But family values and stuff like that. I will be honest, Soto. Even though now I joke about not liking hanging out with people and stuff like that, or majority of people, you know what I mean, just like crowds and stuff like that.
Yes, yes.
But I will admit there's. So it's funny. All right, this is all going on in my head. This is probably not the best answer. It's just the thing I think. I just miss that
Off the
no times when families would just go over to other family's house or friend's house and just ring the doorbell and hang out. Because I will say this,
what the
but
hell is
no,
that?
think about that concept. Because now it's
I
like
know. That's what I'm
when
saying. What the
I've
fuck?
watched the comedians like hey, and the like, oh, come on in, have a coffee, bring out the I don't know this comedian's name. He's like, now he's like, get down on the floor. Did anyone see you? And I'll explain why. Because it's
I know exactly what you're talking
well, you
about.
know what I mean. Just just the idea of like, hey, just coming over, how you doing, blah blah blah, and just it's a casual conversation, more just neighbors. Because my friend Brian, who I've known since I was 9 years old, so we've
Mhm.
known each other for almost 40 years. We basically grew up as close as brothers. And his family is always his parents have been second parents to me.
Mhm.
So we've had he now lives. He owns his childhood home, which is cool and weird at the same time at first, but like, so it's first of all, it's like going back, it's like, God, yeah, I remember, we used to play here and this is where we played basketball, this is where we were in swim. So, and now because of me and him, it's just like I come over and like I don't even ring the door, I just come on in. They know I'm coming over, so don't get me wrong. I'm not making like a hey, I'm here. Just like when we go to coach football, he knows I'm coming. I just kind of let myself in, and it's that
Mhm.
idea of just neighborhood friends and family stuff like that, just getting along and stuff like that. And you
Yep.
don't see that. I mean, our doorbell's broken. When we order pizza, like if we get to, we're like, hey, call us when you get close. And we're like, good, we don't want people bothering us. I get it, but there's a point too, like I miss that. So I do
Yeah.
know this probably happens in some neighborhoods and some families, depending on how close. But like again, I go back.
Yeah.
I kind of remember days where I grew up in New Hampshire and even Minnesota, and just people ringing, "Hey, how's it going? Hey, I was just in the neighborhood. How's it? You just talk, and that was kind of it. And I know it sounds weird because I can't. Because you're right, I do miss the video store, and I do know there's probably like record stores and stuff like that still. Um,
Oh, for sure.
I don't know. Cultural norm. Yeah, going out, playing, riding bikes, and but I'm not a kid. So there's part of me like that. And this is just more for everyone in general. Because it's just like you have those friends, but just enjoy those moments. Because there are good people. Yeah, I don't want a stranger coming over. Like, who the fuck are you? I mean,
Right. But like,
unless they just moved in, like, hey, I just moved in next door. I'm so and so. Like, oh, great, blah blah blah. But you know what I mean? Just there was something about that in the 80s and even early 90s, just like, yeah, that was normal and that was okay. Again, I look at it from both ways. I'm like, I don't want to be bothered. I just want to, do my podcast, play my games. But like, if you came over, like, hey, so, blah, 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 but now with social, cell phones and stuff too, it's like, hey, we text, so let's meet here, or people in general. So there is something to it. And I guess I miss, like, that's the way I grew up. That, just the neighborhood family feel. It's just so different now. And I'm sure there's some neighbors, because they're friends, like, hey, how's it going? And they, the neighbor talks, that's great. I don't have that anymore. I just like that big house. Just, I don't know. I that's my answer, just because I can't think of anything off the top of my head at the moment.
No, I mean that's a fine answer. I mean, people really are not as connected as they used to be. So, I remember growing up too, and just walking into neighbors' houses and everything like that, and we're sitting down and eating food and watching TV and just being a part of like all that stuff, or like having like block parties. I think people still do. I have friends who will have their neighbors like have like not like block parties, but they'll be like, oh, it's Christmas, like come over, we're having a fire pit in the driveway, and then everybody
Yeah.
can hang out and drink and speak at the driveway, like just walk on over. um I mean, home ownership, I think you and I both, that we're not lucky enough to have that, based for a lot of factors that precludes that from happening. It's a lot harder to do that in an apartment complex. I don't think people really do that at all. But I do miss, there's a lot of things that cell phones kind of took away from us, because we started looking at things as being a lot easier. Like sometimes I'll FaceTime my mom instead of going over to see my mom. And phones give that to you, where it's like, before I would have driven all the way over there and be like, oh, I haven't seen you in a while, let's sit down and talk, let's have food. And so, yeah, I do miss that. And I did have that experience growing up, being able to kind of just go to people's houses and stuff. And it was like totally cool. Um, I feel like that people in general were much more disconnected from each other. There's not really a sense of community.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. No, it's funny that you say the connection, it is, before cell phones, and yet the big thing about social media is like bigger ways, more ways to connect. I'm like, yeah, to a point, but not really.
It's not the same.
No, it's not. And, again, there is, I don't want to totally shit talk it, because you're right. It's just like, with some people, like, because, we had to have phone books and stuff like that, or just you lose someone's number, you are fucked until you see them again.
Yeah, pretty much.
But, so there is a way to, and it's funny because, like, I've watched my daughter now, even now in her 20s, she'll, like you said, FaceTime just friends, even friends she's seen recently, and that's how they talk. And I'm like, oh my God, I mean, I've never been one to talk on the phone. I hate it. I hate it. Again, I don't know if it's just because it's not personal. I don't know. I'm fine with but you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I say that, but here we are talking, and we could easily have done this on the phone. But you know what I mean?
Phone, yeah.
Even as a kid, my dad was the same way. I would be pacing, but yeah, she faced, and I find it weird. I'm like, I'm like, at least it's, because you're seeing the face. Yeah, you're right. You couldn't go over there, but that's how they video call mostly. Even if it's just like someone in the other room, just like, hey, again, French is like, what's going on, bitch? What's going on? And I laugh, but I'm like, at first I made fun of it. Then I thought about, like, you know what though? It's still a connection. Yeah, I don't know. I do miss that. Maybe it's just, I also just miss being a kid and not having worries. Just like, hey, where am I gonna go? Let's ride my bike. Oh, what are we doing? We're playing ball? Sweet. Let's throw the baseball around. Oh, like you said, we did have some block parties or neighborhood parties, whatever they're called, but yeah, I don't know. It's just different times. And don't get me wrong. I don't think I want people coming over, but it's just to a point.
I don't either, and I don't want people FaceTiming me either. Like I'm like, people will try to FaceTime me, and I'm like, what are you fucking doing? I'm not showing you my face. Like, get the fuck out of here with this. Because I have friends who are like in their 20s, and they're like, they don't call each other, they FaceTime each other, and I'm like, don't you be FaceTiming me like that. My face is none of your business. Unless I invite you over or some shit, like my face is none of your business.
Yeah.
So I'd much rather you call me. Like I so rarely call that, and I've said this before. I think we joked about it, but I so rarely call that when Sarah sees a call from me, she thinks it's an emergency.
Chills does the same thing. When I have my heart, I mean, not to down. Because anytime the first guy is like, hey, what's going, like you come, hey, what's going on? If I call her, is everything okay?
Yeah.
I'm like,
What's wrong?
yeah,
You're calling
because
me? Why didn't you text me?
well, because again, like today, I left work. I'm like, hey, I'm on my way home. Do you want a coffee? You know, because usually that's the routine if she's at work. And I'm like, hey, you know, just asking if she wants a coffee. She's like, yep, I'll pick her up a coffee, bring her home, Dunkin' Donuts, treat, blah, blah, blah. If I call, she's like, hey, is everything okay? I'm like, yes. And sometimes I'll start like, everything's fine. I just, you know, need some clarification on some shit. Yeah, so that's
I'm
how.
pretty sure when she called me, I was like, what is wrong? Like,
Did she
you
call you?
way
You
back
called
in,
me
like,
though. Did she?
no, something I ended up okay, I don't remember because it was like now we're talking like this was like 4 years ago. I want to say, was it 4 years ago?
Her thing three. Yeah, it
Like
was a
three
little
years ago.
almost 3.5. So
Yeah,
I know
a long
exactly
time
how
ago.
this happened, and I'll explain it to you real quick. Um, it was after everything I got my stents put in, and so I was all
Mhm.
set. I was clear. You know, everything was looking good. I was in a like a little room, and I had to call Keely. Like Keely was my first call. My mom was my second call. And I'm like, God, I gotta
Mhm.
start telling other people because I had to actually tell Brian because I was at his house when it happened. I just did not know that was it. So he kind of knew. And then I texted, so I texted him, messaged him because I was like, I need to get through. And I messaged you, and I kind of said it. This was a prick of me, and I kind of said, I'm like, oh, by the way, I had a heart attack. This happened, but I'm
Oh, I
okay.
do remember this.
So I
I do
messaged you
remember
because I was messaging a lot of
did.
people this time, and you called me. You because
I
which is the
did.
right thing
I
to do.
did.
But then
I was like, you don't text me
all the
like that.
nurses started coming in, but I had no time because they were coming in, and I looked at Jill. I said, Jill, can you
Okay.
answer this? And she's like, but I said, listen, he's gonna panic if I don't, and I knew it. I'm like, just tell him everything's okay. So you were on the phone. That's why she didn't call you, but you called me. But they were all trying to
I
fill me
did.
in, and that's why I was trying to
Did.
get a lot of messages out there. I knew I didn't have time. Again,
Yeah.
in hindsight, yes, I should have probably waited. Like, dude, this happened. I'm okay. Blah blah blah.
You
So,
don't
but
text
I
that,
gave her the phone.
really.
Like, Soto is gonna panic if no
Yeah.
one talks to him because I did. And I saw your first reaction was like, what? Kind of along those lines, and you called, and I couldn't
Yeah.
answer because now like I'm not trying to be the nurses. Everything's here. Like they're in the room. Like just tell them everything's okay. I'll talk to them. A little bit later when it's up. And you afterwards, you even heard me joking with them, and they're like, "All right, I guess he's okay." And then yes, so
Yeah.
yeah, you called me, but that's because again, I shouldn't have, and I understand that. But at that time, I was trying to, like, I knew I had to call
I get it.
Keely, I knew I had to call my
Yeah, of course.
mom,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, I'm like Brian, I'm like, all right, I gotta let Brian know, I gotta let Soda know, because again, Brian was kind of new, something was, he didn't know that was happening. I
Yeah.
just but I had it there, and it was so weird because I came back from Laconia. I was doing a trip up there for the post office, and I missed
Mhm.
both his boys were born in April, and I had presents, and so we're there, and I'm like, yeah, my shoulder, this and this, and like I wasn't feeling well, and I kind of. And then it hit me. I'm like, I gotta go. Like I literally told him I gotta go. I was like, oh, let's open up presents. And I'm there. Again, unbeknownst to me, I'm having a mild heart attack while trying to celebrate,
Oh,
and give him presents. Like good. And I get in his
oh,
driveway, and I should have told him to take me to the hospital. But again, I thought there was like a pinched nerve or something. I did not know. And I'm like
yeah.
half throwing up, and I get I needed the AC, and that's when I pull up, and I call Jill, and she's like, everything okay? What's I'm like, get your shoes on,
Yeah.
run your car
Yeah.
to get the AC. I'm like, something's wrong. I'm like, again, I didn't
Yeah.
know. I could not feel my left side. So yeah,
Ooh.
I think so I was like, man,
Uh,
so that's when I knew there's something more. I'm like,
yeah.
I didn't know. I should have known. But yeah, that's why she didn't call you. You called me after a text that I shouldn't have sent, or at least waited till I could talk to you more. But they were all coming in. I'm like, I can't be like, hold on, I got. But when you called, yeah, I
Yeah.
looked at her. I'm like, yeah. It's just like she wanted to know. I'm like, just tell him everything's okay because like he's gonna panic.
Oh, because you can't like I'd have to have follow-up questions to a
Correct.
text like that.
Which again, I understood. Totally understandable.
It's funny because in my situation I had this week, I was informed with a text as well, and I'm like, you don't text people this stuff. You pick up the fucking phone
Yeah.
and call them. I'm not talking about you. I mean,
No,
you tell me your
and
situation.
I should have
It happened to
waited.
me again this week. It happened again this week, and I'm like, why are people texting me these crazy things? And like, oh yeah, I just had this, so it's all good now. I'm like, what do you mean it's all good now? What the fuck are you talking
I
about?
have
And so
questions.
that
I
was my
need
whole day.
answers.
That was my whole day on Wednesday. I mean, because for better for worse, cell phones, whatever, like, however they make our lives. But there's some things as an elder millennial, like I don't feel like texting. Like, so Sarah will send me a fucking book in a text, like a fucking straight up book, and I'll respond with like, "Sounds good." I'm not going to write a fucking book back. Like, I'm not going to match this ridiculous energy. If you have all that to say, pick up the fucking phone, because I don't want to read that much. I'm sorry. The older I get, the less I want to read. I think you're the same way too. When it comes to video games, like yeah, blah blah blah. Anyways, I don't want to read. Pick up the fucking phone and fucking call me if you have shit to say. Text should be a couple sentences, updates, status updates. Perfectly cool with that. But they shouldn't be these like, oh my god, I dread it when I open up my cell phone and somebody has texted me a fucking large paragraph block of text. I can't read. I don't want to read that. That's all. That's it. I'm off my soapbox.
It's okay. Which I know I do sometimes, but it's more like this, our podcast. Like, I know sometimes I'm like, I have all this information.
All like that. No. You don't know. Like, when I talk about long text, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Like, these things are like obnoxiously long. Like, they're books.
All right, anyhow, I don't want to get you in trouble. We didn't shave your beard.
Oh, she knows.
I know.
Yeah, no, trust me. I'll tell her this at dinner too. Be like, I'm not reading a book when you text me. Not doing it.
Oh. All right, I think we learned a lot today. I mean, we got through a few questions, surprisingly.
I had some good questions too that I will save for next time.
Oh yeah, no. I mean,
on.
Yeah, no. Save them for next time because I know you got dinner to get ready to go to, and we've been on for almost an hour and a half. This is one of our longer podcasts, believe it or not. So, yeah,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, no, I had a little timer going in. I'm like, ooh. Plus, I gotta go finish laundry, which is beside the point. But anyhow, yeah, we will do this again next week. I don't know if we'll do this topic or, whatever comes up. But, if we got nothing to think about, yeah, we'll finish off these questions and maybe think of more. Maybe I'll try to get some family members and be like, what do you want to know about Soto? Who knows? But yeah, that is
There's
it.
There's one question I'm going to have to ask you next week. We'll leave.
Oh, really? All right. If we're going to continue this next week, yeah, save your questions. And like I said, I have a couple smaller ones. I think I asked the major one early. What your life would be like without me. I was like, I'll start with some fun ones, then I hit him with the deep one, but we just kind of went down that road. So it's like, well, I have to do it now. We're here.
That was great. It was great.
I think we learned a lot today. So yeah, we will do this again next week. Don't know what our topics would be. If we don't have it, yeah, we'll just ask more questions. That's what we do. But until next time, just I have no good way of ending this because call people, call your loved ones. Don't send them a text that you had a heart attack. That's wrong.
The Earth is also round.
Is it? It is.
Yeah, it is.